Hey guys, Jason Weed here. And today I want to do another little story time. Except, you know, instead of telling about how much of a failure I am at life, I'm gonna tell you how much of a failure I am in video games. No. No. Get out of here. So anyway, I'm gonna tell you guys the story of how I got this faggot to level 7. Cause it was an experience, and yeah, I'm just gonna play bot lanes for footage, and I'm just gonna record this live because there's no way to script about what fucking happened. All right, so let me just start by saying, if you watched like you know, that one video where I talked about all those champions that I fucking hate, and how guaranteed crits are bullshit, and then I showed how I was level 6 with Jhin. That should give you an indication of you know, how much I play this, you know, Garbo champ. But I really enjoyed Jhin, and you know, eventually, I eventually ended up getting a level 7 token for him, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go for it. At first, I didn't give a shit if I got Jhin to level 7 or not. It really did not matter to me in the least bit. Yes, but that changed for some reason. Like when I got my first level 7 token. And I thought to myself, you know what? I got Twitch and Echo level 7. Why don't we get this boy level 7? I play him just as much, if not more, than Twitch. So I started, and it was a fucking travesty, okay?
Which is the lie?
For anybody who's tried to get S's on ADCs, they have to know that getting not S minuses and just getting like even an S, not even an S plus, is fucking horrible. Because you need to do so goddamn much. You need to have good CS. You can't really have died more than like 4 times. You need to have a decent amount of assists. You need to have almost 80% of the kills on your team.
Asks questions.
And it's just a downward fucking spiral. So it started off pretty easy, okay? You know, I just tried to do well in games, you know, tried to play well, which I managed to do, you know. I was at a pretty high point of when I could play Jhin at the point. But, you know, I thought it would be easy. I have never been more wrong in my fucking life. So,
be expected to work.
I can't remember all of these games, but one of them stuck out more than others, and I'll get to it. So, it took a couple nights for me to finally get it, and I only got S's once every 5 games or so. And it was awful because I started losing my mind. So eventually I had a few games where I went, I think, like 16, 2, and 10, and I only had maybe like 140 CS at like 20 minutes, and that was only an A+ for some godforsaken reason. There was also another game where, you know, I was pretty much the reason my team even had a chance. Granted, I wasn't doing like super god tier, like I wasn't, you know, doing like, you know, 27, 1, and 15. Interesting flash. But still doing really well. And I only got an S- for it. The point is, winning was not enough after a point, okay? If I had not crushed the enemy's hopes and dreams in the beginning of the match, then I just kind of gave up. I just kind of gave up on that game being an ass. That didn't mean I just started infeeding. I just kind of gave up on that game for getting my ass. And it was all that I fucking cared about at the time. And my friends even went full-on team comps to try and help, but it didn't matter sometimes. The ranking system is so fucking weird. I just didn't know what to do. So
In carnage, I bloom.
Eventually, I played this one game, and this is the one game that stood out to me among most of them. I played a game where I called ADC. I believe it was draft pick. I called ADC, and you know, what am I saying? Called ADC. I got placed ADC, but these two people said they were going bot lane, and nothing was fucking changing their minds. And you know what? I thought to myself, you know what? Whatever. I already locked in Jhin. I'll just make deal. I'll deal with it. I'll do whatever. These fuckers take my top lane. And you know, it was okay. It was okay. But then I see they go Zac and Karthus bot lane. Zac and Karthus bot lane. Oh god. And I ended up going Jhin top against a Darius. And I actually didn't do that bad. Now, there's a running joke between our friend group. My friend Derek, you've probably seen him in a few videos or a few League with Friends. He's the really whiny one. And he always has problems against Zed, regardless of how good they are or how bad they are. It just doesn't matter with him. He's a goddamn mastermind, and I don't understand how he does it. So he was up against a Zed mid lane, and I think, now, he's gonna yell at me about this later, but I think he fed the Zed's ass off. Not terribly early on, but he fed him pretty hard. Like I said, my memory of this is foggy. I was just seeing red too much. But Zed got like super fed. I was able to fight the Darius okay. I couldn't ever really kill him, and I first bought Sterix Gauge so I wouldn't immediately die. And the sad part of it was, I was the only person doing well on our team. I look mid lane. Zed is like 8-1 by 10 minutes.
Smile.
Which, you know, is always delightful.
If I get this outfit dirty, I'm going to be
Motherfucker. And you know, that was a pain in the ass because then he started roaming top lane and killing me. But he fucked up one of the dives. And eventually, the dive gave me a double kill, and that allowed me to actually do things. So I ended up building a Triforce on top of it, and a Maw, like a GA. I basically built everything I could to give me more health and I guess armor. I just tried to not die. And bot lane was also feeding their ass off, like, immensely. It was kind of incredible to see what happened. Because Zac was doing okay. Like, I think he, like, every time he, died, he got a kill. So basically, he was going 1 for 1 for the most part. Karthus, on the other hand, the man was basically just infeeding. The two were obviously friends, because anytime anyone called out either of them for being a complete dumb shit, the two of them would just back each other up. Now I had a feeling we could probably win this game. Okay, like I was actually doing okay. I don't think I ever really went negative, but I knew I wasn't getting an S this game, but I felt like it was still a winnable game. So I did what I could to try and win the game. Granted, it wasn't really much I could do, because when I looked at the scoreboard, by I think at least 30 minutes, Zed was 27 and 5. And he was just building full-on damage, which you think would be okay. You know, if he's full damage, he doesn't have any armor, you can kill him. It doesn't matter if he wipes you off the face of the planet. And I looked at our bot lane, our Zac was the only one doing okay, but then I saw Last Whisper in his build. That one struck a few chords with me. Like, I don't know what the fuck runs through your head when you think that building Last Whisper on Zac is a good idea. Look, to each his own, but like, still, why? At that point, I kind of gave up on the game. Zed would immediately ult me anytime I showed my face, because he had it all the fucking time. Darius wasn't really an issue, and like, I can't even remember how our bot lane was going, but it was just a fucking travesty, that game. And I don't know, man. Like, when you have a Karthus and Zac bot lane, when the Zac builds Last Whisper and mostly AD items, and you have a Karthus, just kind of feeding his ass off, and you're the only one positive going Jhin top. And by the way, their Zed ended the game as I think it was either 32 or 36. 36 kills and 8 deaths. So the man was, I don't even think he was hyper carrying at that point. I think he was just out for blood. Like, I don't know what that classifies as anymore. I really don't. But I remember that the last game that I needed to play, like I said, winning was no longer good enough. I had to crush the dreams and aspirations of anyone who stood in my way. It was a fucking bloodbath after a while. It consumed me, because anytime I got onto League for a period of time, it was all about getting Jhin to level 7. And it was fucking awful. I don't know what else to say, but I remember the last game. I did it. I was crushing them. I'm crushing the enemy team, doing really well, and was feeling real good. Feeling real good about that game. But their Fizz got super fed. Actually, I wouldn't say super fed, but the guy made a beeline for me all the fucking time. And I didn't want to have to do it, but I built Sterix that game, and they just couldn't kill me after that. It was just kind of it was an event, is the best way I can put it. And well, let me put it to you like this. Sterix was almost a must-buy 90% of the time, because I couldn't live without it. If I was doing as well as I needed to be to get the S, they would target me instantaneously. And it was just awful. I don't know what the fuck's happening with my game right now. So basically all you need to know is getting ADCs to level 7 is fucking awful. I ended up going 23 and 4 from my last game to get an S on Jhin. And fuck ADCs, fuck Jhin, fuck everything, fuck you, fuck this video. Good night.